Hello everyone, I am Diksha, MCOM Final, MPM Government First Grade College. My presentation topic on due dates for filing of return and final assessment. Due dates for filing of return given the table. Return form GST return 1. Description details of outward supplies of taxable goods and of services affected. GST return 1 is a monthly or quarterly return that should be filed by every registered dealer. It contains details of outward supplies, that is sales. Frequency monthly. Due date 11th of next month, effect from October 2018. Quarterly, if of date end of the month succeeding the quarter. The due dates for GST return 1 are based on your turnover. Business with sales up to rupees 1.5 crore have an option to file quarterly returns. Other taxpayer with sales above rupees 1.5 crore have to file monthly return. Next, GST return to suspended. Details of inward supply of taxable goods and services affected claiming the input tax credit. Every registered taxable person is required to give details of inward supply, that is purchases for a tax period in GST return to. Why is GST return to important? GST return to contains details of the purchases transaction of a registered dealer for a month. It will also include purchases on which reverse charge applies. The GST return to filed by a registered dealer is used by the government to check with the seller's GST return 1 for the buyer or seller reconciliation. Frequency monthly. Due date 15th of the next month. As per the Act, GST return to due date for filing of GST return to is the 15th of next month. There is a 5-day gap between GST return 1 and GST return 2 filing to correct any errors and discrepancy. For business with turnover less than 1.5 crores, quarterly returns are applicable whose due dates will be announced later. Latest update for July 2017. GST due date for GST return to for July has been extended to 30th November. As per 22nd GST Council meeting of 6th October 2017. Business with annual turnover up to 1.5 crores will submit quarterly returns. Taxes will be paid quarterly. Due dates of August and September will be declared later. Switch over to quarterly will happen from October to December 2017 cycle. Next, GST return 3 suspended. Monthly return on the basis of financialization of details of outward supplies and inward supplies along with the payment of tax. GST return is a monthly return with the summarized details of sales, purchases, sales during the month along with the amount of GST liability. This return is auto-generated pulling information from GST return 1 and GST return 2. Why is GST return 3 important? GST return 3 will be show the amount of GST liability for the month. The taxpayer must pay the tax and file the return. Frequency monthly. Due date 20th of the next month. Due dates for GST return 3 of July has been extended to 11th December. As per 22nd GST Council meeting of 6th October 2017, business with annual turnover up to 1.5 crores will submit quarterly returns. Taxes will be paid quarterly. Due dates of August to September will be declared later. Switch over to quarterly will happen from October to December 2017 cycle. As per the Act, due dates for filing GST return 3 is 20th of next month. There is a 5-day gap between GST return 2 and GST return 3 filing to correct any errors and discrepancy. For business with turnover less than 1.5 crores, quarterly return are applicable whose due dates will be announced later. Next, GST return 3B, simple return in which a summary of outward supplies along with the input tax credit is declared and payment of tax is effected by the taxpayer. GST return 3B is a monthly self-declaration that has to be filed by a registered dealer from July 2017 till March 2020. Point out the note, you must file a separate GST return 3B for each GST number you have. Second point, tax liability of GST return 3B must be paid by the last date of filing GST return 3B for that month. Last point, GST return 3B cannot be revised. Frequency monthly, 20th of the next month. GST return 3B must be filed by the 20th of the subsequent month to avoid late fees. This due date was valid until GSTR 3B of December 2019. For the return period January 2020 to March 2020, due date has been revised. Next, CMP 08. CMP Expand is an comprehensive metabolic panel. Statement cum challan to make to tax payment by a taxpayer registered under the composition scheme under section 10 of the CGST Act, supplier of goods, and a CGST rate notification number 2/2019 dated 7th March 2020, supplier of services. A composition dealer will use the form CMP08, which is a special statement cum challan to declare the details or summary of his or her self-assessed tax payable for a given quarter. It is also act as a challan for making payment of tax. A composition dealer is a dealer who has been registered under the composition scheme laid down for both the supply of goods and services. Frequency quarterly. Due date 18th of the month succeeding the quarter. From CMP 08 must be filed on a quarterly basis on or before the 18th of the month succeeding the quarter of any specific fiscal years. Next, GST return for return for a taxpayer registered under the composition scheme under section 10 of the CGST Act, supplier of goods, and CGST rate notification number 2/2019 dated 7th March 2020, supplier of service. GST return 4 is a GST return that has to be filed by a composition dealer, unlike a normal taxpayer who needs to furnish 3 monthly returns. A dealer opting for the composition scheme is required to furnish only one return, which is GST return 4, once in a year by 30th of April following a financial year. Frequency annually. Due dates 30th of the month succeeding a financial year. GST return 4 has to be filed on an annual basis. The due dates for filing GST return 4 is 30th of April following the relevant financial year. For example, the GST return 4 for a financial year 2019-20 is due by 30th April 2020 until the financial year 2018-19. The due date was 18th of the month after the end of the quarter. Next, GST return 5. Return for a non-resident foreign taxable person. GST return 5 is the return to be filed by non-resident foreign taxpayers who are registered under GST and carry out business transaction in India. The return contains details of all outward supplies made, inward supplies received, credit and debit notes, tax liability and tax paid. Who is a non-resident foreign taxpayer? Non-resident foreign taxpayers are those suppliers who do not have a business establishment in India and have comes for a short period to make suppliers in India. Such a person is required to furnish details of all taxable supplies in GST return 5. Why is GST return 5 important? It will contain all business details for non-resident including the details of sales and purchases. Information from GST return 5 will flow into GST return 2 of buyers. Frequency monthly 20th of the next month. As per the GST Act, due date to file GST return 5 is the every 20th of next month. For instance, the return of September 2018 will be due on 20th October 2018. Next, GST return 6. Return for an input services distributor to distribute the eligible input tax credit to its branches. GST return 6 monthly return to be filed by an input service distributor. It will be contain details of input tax credit received and distributed by the input service distributor. It will further contain details of all documents issued for the distribution of input credit and the manner of distribution. Why is GST Return 6 important? GST Return 6 contains details of all the documents issued for distribution of input tax credit and the manner of distribution of credit and the tax invoice on which credit is received. Frequency monthly. Due dates 13th of the next month. The due date for filing a GST return 6 as per GST Act is 30th of next month. Next, GST return 7. Return for government authorities deducting tax at sources. GST return 7 is a return to be filed by the person who is required to deduct TDS under GST. GST return 7 contains the details of TDS deduct, TDS liability payable and paid TDS refund claimed if any, etc. TDS are required to deduct TDS under GST. As per GST law, following people or entities need to deduct tax deducted sources. First one, a department or establishment of the central or state government. Local authority, governmental agencies, personal or category of person as may be notified by the central or state government on the recommendation of the council. Why is GST return 7 important? GST return 7 shows the details of the TDS deducted, amount of TDS paid and payable, any refund of TDS claimed. Frequency monthly. Due date 10th of the next month. Filing the GST return 7 for a month is due on 10th of the following month. For instance, due date of filing GST return 7 for October is 10th November. GST return 8. Details of supplies affected through e-commerce operators and the amount of tax collected at sources by them. GST return 8 is a return to be filed by the e-commerce operators who are required to be deducted tax collected sources under GST. GST return 8 contains the details of supply affected through e-commerce platform and amount of tax collected sources collected on such supplies. Who classifies as an e-commerce operator? E-commerce operator is a person who owns or manages the digital or electronic facility or platform for electronic commerce such as Amazon, Flipkart, etc. Why is GST return 8 important? GST return 8 shows the details of supplies affected through the e-commerce platform and the amount of tax collected sources collected on such supplies. Currently, the government has to put the tax collected sources provisions on hold. It is going to be applicable from 1st October 2018 onwards. Frequency monthly 10th due dates 10th of the next month. GST return 8. Filing for a month is due on 10th of the following month. For instance, the due dates for GST return 8 for October is on the 10th of the November. Next, GST return 9. Annual return for a normal taxpayer. GST return 9 is an annual return to be filed yearly by taxpayer registered under GST. Point out the note. It consists of details regarding the outward and inward supplies made and received during the relevant previous year under different tax heads, that is CGST, SGST, IGST, HSN codes. It is a consolidation of all the monthly quarterly returns filed in that year. Through complex, this return helps in extensive reconciliation of data for 100% transparent disclosures. Frequency annually, due dates 31st December of next financial year. The due dates of to file GST return 9 is further extended to November 30th 2019. The late fees for not filing the GST return 9 within the due date is rupees 100 per day period. That means late fees rupees 100 under CGST and rupees 100 under SGST will be applicable in case of delay. Thus, the total liability is rupees 200 per day of default. This is subject to a maximum of 0.25% of the taxpayer turnover in the relevant state or union territory. However, there is no late fees on IGST yet. Next, GST return 9A. Annual return to be filed by a taxpayer registered under composition levy any time during the year. The GST return 9A is the annual return to be filed once in a year by taxpayer who has opted for the composition scheme under GST for a particular financial year. It includes all the information furnished in the quarterly returns filed by the composition taxpayers during that financial year. Frequency annually, 31st December of next financial year. GST return 9A has to be filed on or before 31st December following the close of financial year. For example, if the composition taxpayer is filing his annual return, if the financial year 2017-18, the taxpayer should file it on or before 31st December 2018. Next, GST returns 9C, Certified Reconciliation Statement. Every registered person whose turnover during a financial year exceeds the prescribed limit of rupees 2 crores shall get his accounts audited by a chartered accountant or a cost accountant. The limit is enhanced to rupees 5 crore of the GST return 9C of financial year 2019 as per the CBIC notification dated 23rd March 2020. Frequency annually, 31st December of next financial year. The due dates for submitting the annual returns in GST return 9 is the same deadline for submission of GST return 9C. Hence, the GST return 9C must be filed on or before 31st December of the year subsequent to the relevant financial year under audit. The due date can be extended by the government if deemed necessary. GST return 10. Description: final return to be filed by a taxpayer whose GST registration is cancelled. A taxable person whose GST registration is cancelled or surrendered has to file a return in the form of GST return 10. This return is called a final return. Due dates: once when GST registration is cancelled or surrendered. GST return 10 must be filed within 3 months from the date of cancellation or date of cancellation order, whichever is later. For instance, if the date of cancellation is 1st September 2017, then the GST return 10 must be filed by 30th November 2017. GST Return 11. Details of inward supplies to furnished by a person having a unique identify number and claiming a refund. GST Return 11 is the return to be filed by the person has been issued to unique identify number in order to get refund under GST for the goods and services purchased by them in India. Who are unique identify number holders under GST Act? Unique identify number is a special classification made for foreign diplomatic mission and embassies who are not liable to taxes in India territory. Frequency monthly. Due date 20th of the month following the month for which statement is filed. When is GST return 11 due? GST return 11 must be filed by the 28th of the month following the month in which inward supply is received by the unique identify number holders. For instance, of us embassy paid GST of rupees 45,000 on food, hotel, etc. for during his stay in India for the month of August 2017. Then he must file return in GST return 11 by 28th September 2017 in order to claim refund of such taxes paid. Assessment of taxes. Meaning, as per the section 2 subsection 11 of the Central Goods Services Act CGST 2017, the team assessment means determination of tax liability under GST Act includes self-assessment, reassessment, provisional assessment, summary assessment and best judgment assessment. It means most taxes are based on the principle that the receiver of taxes, example, inland revenue, has the right to assess the tax liability and demand the assess amount from the taxpayer. Tax assessment or assessment is the job of determining the value and sometimes determining the use of property, usually to calculate a property tax. This is usually done by an office called the assessor at tax assessor. 5 types of assessment: self-assessment, provisional assessment, scrutiny assessment, best judgment assessment, summary assessment. Assessment 2 types: by taxpayer or by tax authority. By taxpayer is one type is self-assessment. By tax authorities, these are provisional assessment, summary assessment, scrutiny of returns, best judgment assessment. Assessment meaning the process of evaluating and measuring an individual achievement, a typically done with assessment tools such as assignment or examination. Procedure used by government assessors to determine the value of a property or the income of a person or entity in order to charge taxes or to levy on the orders of a court. The evaluation of a situation or person. For example, the government employee sent his assessment regarding the value of the land to his boss, who would decide if it was physically sound to purchase the property. By taxpayer means a person or company that has to be paid tax. By tax authorities means a government organization responsible for collecting a taxes. First one, self-assessment. Section 59. Every registered taxable person who shall himself assess the taxes payable under and furnish a return for each tax period. Based on the type of taxable person, the return to be furnished have been specified. Self-assessment is the process of looking at oneself in order to assess aspects that are important to one's identify. It is one of the motives that drive self-evaluation along with self-verification and self-enhancement. For example, Planning. Developed a business plan for improvement to the sales system with an estimated return and investment of 440%. Second example says closed revenue of $12 million in the quarter of 22 days with a win rate of 44%. Third one, marketing. Optimized refers to improve conversion rate to 5.1%. This represented a revenue improvement of 93% for the quarter. Second, provisional assessment. If the taxable person is unable to determine the value of goods and services or determine the rate of tax applicable, the person can request an officer to allow him to pay tax on a provisional basis. And provisional section 60 and provisional assessment, the supplier can pay tax on professional basis but only after they executes a bond with security binding them for payment of the difference between the amount of tax as may be finally assessed and the amount of tax provisionally assessed. For example, estimated figure or the previous year figures. Provisions of provisional assessment. Step 1. The taxable person has to give the concerned GST officer a request for provisional assessment in writing. What person pays the tax? With the taxing officer, he requests a provisional assessment. Second step, the GST officer on reviewing the application will pass on order within a period not later than 90 days from the date of receipt of the request, for allowing a payment of tax on provisional basis or at GST rate or an such value as specified by him. He goes to the GST officer to pay a person a tax, and the GST officer there checks the application, will pass on the order, allows to pay GST rate or tax on his or her specified value on a temporary basis upon receipt of the request within 90 days. Third step, the taxable person who is making a payment on provisional basis has to issue a bond with a security promising to pay the difference between provisionally assessed tax and final assessed. Such person levying a tax on a temporary basis shall give him, the GST officer, bond with the promise and with security of paying the difference between his provisional assessment tax or his final assessment tax. Step 4. Provisional assessment will be followed by final assessment. The proper officer can ask for information before final assessment. A GST officer will conduct a temporary assessment after a person GST final assessment are made and the information can be obtained from the appropriate official before the GST final assessment. Next, scrutiny assessment. Under this, an officer can examine the return and information furnished by a person to verify the correctness of the return. Scrutiny assessment section under section 143 subsection 3. Scrutiny assessment refers to the examination of the income tax return by giving an appropriate opportunity to the assessee to substantiate the income declared and the expenses, deduction, losses, exemption, etc. claimed in the return with the help of evidence. Next, best judgment assessment. In the best judgment assessment, an assessing officer assesses based on his reasoning and using the information available. The best judgment assessment section 144 is best judgment assessment. The best judgment assessment means evaluation or estimation in the context income tax law of income in the assessee by the assessing officer. The assessing officer will not act dishonestly or capriciously. He will give his best judgment. Two types of best judgment assessment. First one, assessment of non-filers of return. If a person fails to furnish a return even after notice is served to the person, an officer will assess the tax liability of the person to the best of his judgment, notwithstanding anything to the country contained in the section 73 or section 74, where a registered person fails to furnish the return under section 39 or section 45 even after the service of notice under section 46, the proper officer may proceed to assess the tax liability of the said person to the best of his judgment, taking into account all the relevant material which is available or which he was gathered and issues on assessment under within period a few years from the date specified under section 44 for furnishing of the annual return for the financial year to which the tax not paid relates. On receipt of the said assessment order, if the registered person furnishes a valid return within a period of 30 days from the date of issuance of assessment order, then in such case the assessment order would deem to have withdrawn. Second type, assessment of unregistered person. If a taxable person is fails to obtain registration even though he is liable to do so, an office will assess the tax liability of the person to the best of his judgment for the relevant tax period and issue an assessment order within 5 years. This is concerning a taxable person who fails to obtain registration even though he is liable to do so. The officer will assess the tax liability for relevant tax periods to the best of his judgment. He can issue assessment order within 5 years from the due dates of the annual return for the year when the tax was not paid. If it is found that he did not register when he was liable to then demand and recovery for unpaid tax will commence, and the penalty for not registering will also apply. Summary assessment. In certain special cases, an officer may, on finding any evidence showing tax liability of a person which comes to his notice with the permission of the additional or joint commissioner. Summary assessment means a fast track assessment based on the return failed by the assessee. It is completed on a priority basis without the presence of the taxpayer, because delay in such assessment may lead to loss of revenue. Last, final assessment. The proper officer shall issue notice in Form GST ASMT 06 calling for information and records required for finalization of assessment within 6 months from the date of communication of provisional order. Final assessment should be completed. A final assessment refers to the task that evaluates students' progress course. This is a way for students to recognize their weakness and for instructor to understand where they have excelled and where improvement is needed when teaching. Thank you.